And we will have some, maybe I can give a bit intro. So my name is Nima Rafati. I am a bioinformatics data scientist at NBIS Bioinformatics platform at SciLife Lab. And so today I'm very happy to see many faces in the room and also many people on Zoom. And during the discussion today, we are going to have some interactive discussions. You will be able to get access to a site which is called Mentimeter. Are you familiar with Mentimeter? Yeah, okay, so for people who are online, you will get a QR code to scan or a code, then you will be able to see the questions as we move on, and then you will answer the questions, and then there will be 2 assignments. The first one will be a role play. You will be rolling as a recruiter or candidate, and then you share your CVs with your partner. You will discuss it for 5 minutes, and then you switch the roles. And in the second assignment, you will choose one of the job advertisements which I have uploaded on my website. Hopefully, they are still open and accessible. I downloaded them or linked them yesterday, unless something happened and the recruiter found the right candidate and they removed the ad. But they are all on LinkedIn Jobs. And the assignment is that you will be in a group of 4 people, give or take, 4, 3, depending on how many you are in the room, and also 4 people on the Zoom. And then while you will go to these discussions and checking the job ad, you will identify 7 elements, 7 qualifications that can be important in those jobs. And I think there are 9 or 10 jobs. And you can choose whatever you want. You will discuss in the room, in the group, and then you choose the one. You discuss the elements with each other, and then you copy paste the job ad in ChatGPT. And then you ask ChatGPT the same question. Scan or read the job ad. It's better to copy paste it. Sometimes ChatGPT cannot read the whole URL if you just pass the link. But you can try. If it didn't work, then you copy paste the text. And after that, you ask the same question, identify 7 important elements of qualification, and try to see what are the overlaps between your choices and also what ChatGPT has given you. Yeah, so any question about the assignments or activities? No? It was crystal clear, or was not clear at all? Okay, for audience online, did you follow the assignment, and do you have any question about those? Yes, there is a question in the chat whether to use ChatGPT only. No, AI of choice. You can choose any area solution that you have access to. ChatGPT was just one suggestion, and yes, you can use whatever you wish. The idea here is to see which elements will be picked up by the ChatGPT or by yourself, because I will show you one example that over-reliance on chat or AI solution may not all the time be practical, and it may give you some qualification which is not really tangible, and you will see the example. So now you can scan the QR code or go to menti.com with the code. There's no need for the intro anymore. You know everything. So if everyone has the QR code set up and ready to get access to the questions, we move on. Shall we? Okay. So yeah, CV writing. You may wonder why I chose this topic, this title, Behind the Door of CV Writing. So after reviewing a lot of CVs, either from applicants or students, and also being involved in the recruiting procedure, I realized some patterns. I saw some patterns, and I thought maybe the main focus at the moment, based on what I received from people, was the main focus was on the appearance, how to show their skills. But now I would like to take you one step back and try to see, before putting our qualification or skills on the paper, on the CV, what other elements or what other factors we can take into account before doing that. And I begin with an anecdote. Yes, with few friends, they told they used to go to mountain climbing, and they told me to join them, and I did. And the first time they told me that, okay, we will take you through a shortcut that you can get to the top of the mountain quickly. And I said, yes, why not? Because it's my first time. I was very excited about that. And as you know, the shortest or the shortcut to the top of the mountain, straight line, right? So in the middle of the way, I told my friend that, I confess that I cannot make it. I give up. And there was a smile on their face, and they said, okay, we were challenging you to take you through a stupid straight line. And I said, so that was a challenge. And they said, we don't usually do that. And instead, the right path is switch back path, to go step by step to the top of the mountain. It takes longer, but it's more likely that we manage to finish the line. And with this, it's like a disclaimer. If you're expecting me to tell you shortcut today, or guarantee that with this CV, after this workshop, you will have a good CV and then you will land your job? No. I don't think anyone can guarantee that. If anyone does that, he or she is not really honest with you. But instead, I'm going to share some facts, some techniques, and we will learn about the skills, how to learn, how to quantify them. And I will talk a bit about job seekers bias, portfolios, what type of portfolios you can use to present your skills. And also just a bit of use of AI, which I gave you the example of the assignment, and what can I offer at the end. So, the first challenge. I'm sure most of you maybe have watched the movie of The Wolf of Wall Street. And one of the assignments, there, Jordan Belfort assigned the audiences, reached them, and challenged them to sell a pen. Now, I would like to put you to the same situation. Imagine I have virtual pen, and I'm asking each of you to sell a pen. What would be your strategy? It's the first question. So please go and try to answer the question.
Yeah, some people need to see the link again. So that's
it writes well to advertise in social media. I talk how reliable and stylish the pen is. If you need to remember something forever, write it down. For this, you need to buy a pen. How about this one? That's a good one. I will ask, can I have your number, please? This will create a requirement in the customer. Then I can sell the pen. Yeah, need, right? We are talking about need. So, in this scenario, first, as you could see, some of the questions was to understand the properties of the pen. So in this case, it's you. You are trying to first present the properties or qualification. On the other hand, you have a buyer for whom you need to identify what he or she needs, what he or she is looking for. It's a recruiter, right? So the need is important. If you try to describe all possible qualifications and none of them matches the need of the buyer, you will fail this sell. And the pen here is an analogy to your CV. You have to sell yourself. You have to say which type of my qualifications match your need. Any question here? Now, as I told you, we will do it through our CV. And resume or CV is used interchangeably. And let's break this down. CV stands for curriculum vitae, which means course of life. And from the name, you can guess that it should be lengthy. We try to describe all of our qualifications. And it's quite common to be used for academic or research positions. And you list education, experience, grants, etc. And it is less customized. On the other hand, you have resume, which is usually 1 to 2 pages, quite common in US and Canada. And you try to present yourself concisely and very briefly by highlighting your skills and qualifications or educations a bit. And it's highly customized to the job. So in a nutshell, your CV is like an open folder. Your resume is like a compressed version of that. When we are sharing our CVs to recruiter or organizations, in a hiring system, in a hiring procedure, they either use a computer or human. So the computer is called application tracking system, which is whole package, and one of the job it does is to scan the CV. Yeah, and human does the same, but there are some differences. After scanning, both of them try to identify given qualifications. ATS is fast, very efficient, very cost-effective approach, but it may not be able to identify all the elements, like if you have infographics, if you have graphs, if you have charts. But human can identify those. It can go beyond the instructed terms or qualifications. But it is slow. It's costly. Imagine your CV goes into hand of a real human recruiter, and it will be in busy hands. It's not like their job to read CVs. No, they have zillions of other things and recruiting someone. So they will either read your CVs on the phone, in the subway, during fika time, at the meetings. So you have a very short period of time. And the first impressions or the first reactions won't be technical. It will go from wow to unbelievable. So it's not really something that you think, okay, this person who is reading my CV will identify all of my qualifications. How much time do you think a recruiter or hiring manager spend to read your CV? Give me numbers. Seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks. That's true. We are talking about seconds. Okay? Now, imagine the scenario that I told you in the beginning. You are going to do that in practice. So the first assignment is to do it in pairs. So if you're sitting 2 by 2, yes, maybe one of you can move to sit together. It will be 2. It will be a role play, 1 recruiter, 1 candidate. You share your CV. Has anyone brought a CV? Do you have? Yeah, okay. So if you do not have, just let me know. And also for people who are online, do all of you have CVs? Okay. So if not, then you can scan this QR code. You can scan this QR code and choose one and then discuss. It won't be role play, but those who have a CV, try to do this role play. You will spend 7 to 30 seconds. The golden number is 7 seconds, whether you like it or not. You have only 7 seconds to impress your reader. Okay? But we will try to do it a bit more generously. Instead of 7 seconds, you will do it in 30 seconds. After that, during this time, try to identify 7 important elements or qualification. It can be anything. It can be the skills, it can be education, it can be the appearance of a CV, whatever you think you can ask questions. And ask these questions from the candidate, okay? And then you switch the role. And for people on the Zoom, now you will go to breakout rooms. Each role play takes almost 5 minutes. And whenever you are done, people on the Zoom, please come back to the main room. And for you guys that are in the room, when you are done, you just raise your hand or you say, I'm done. It can be not necessarily 5 minutes. As much as you think will be enough. Okay? So whenever you are done, you go to the mentee and answer the question. The question is how many elements or qualifications picked by your recruiter matched your expectations. Okay? Okay, everyone. Just for practicality, now it's time to answer questions. For people online, are you also able to see the question? Can you answer the questions now? Are you able to answer the question? Sorry, I'm interrupting, just to make sure we can cover all the topics. Did you manage to answer the question?
No.
Yeah. So just say how much overlap did you see between what you expected to be asked and how many of those elements were highlighted by the recruiter? Sorry? You get?
I think we did it wrong.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so shall we move on?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it was interesting to see the numbers. As you can see, it varies from 2 to 5, and there was only one, which was the sort of, I think, interesting case. 6 out of 7 possible points were highlighted or asked by the recruiter. So as you probably notice, one of the aim of this assignment was to make sure that we can deliver or highlight what we are good at, right? And when we are applying for a job, we have to consistently represent ourselves. And we do that through 3 different steps. The first one is CV, is the pen, right? And we provide different information in each of these parts. The first one is CV, motivation letter, and interview. And all of these should be connected eventually to the job that you are going to work and perform. And as I said, you provide different information in each of these elements. CV, you present who you are, what you have done, where you have done your work or study or educations, and when. While with motivation letter, you try to expand it. Not only you say what you have done, you can also explain how you have done it. And remember, you must explain why you are applying for this position and why this institute or company. You cannot just randomly go and say, okay, I did this and I did that, and I want a job. That's not going to work. That will be like no. You will go to no pile quickly. And in the interview, not only you will be addressing these questions, WH question, but also you have to ask a question. You have to ask a question about your future work environment and from your future boss. You have to get to know what you are supposed to do. Because in the job ad, not everything is represented. It's a short text, similar to the way that you have limitation in presenting yourself. There is a limitation in description of the job as well. So take the chance to ask question. And eventually, combination of all of these points that you have presented consistently will give you a chance to give you higher chance to have a job. And while I'm talking about this, having this consistently, I can also link it to priming effect. Does anyone know about priming effect? No? Okay. So let me explain this with an example. It was pictured in a movie called Focus, and Will Smith and Margot Robbie and B.D. Wong acted in this movie, and Jess and Nick were one of these smart couples trying to bet on everything, and they challenged Leon, that you can see in here as well. And then, yes. So the challenge was to pick a number in a football match. Imagine the situation, picking one number among the football players and try to force or challenge the other party to guess which number Leon had picked. So it's a very small chance, very small likelihood that they can pick the right number. But amazingly, Jess, as you can see in this picture, managed to guess the right number. But how? All the day, throughout all the places that Leon had passed, he was exposed to number 55. So in the cab, in the hotel, on the street, the cab driver, every places he was exposed to number 55. It is called priming effect. With this technique, you try to expose to a stimuli which influence the decision or behavior of the person. So here I'm not telling you to deceive your recruiter or hiring manager. No. Use this technique to highlight your qualification, because it's what they want to see. They want to see this pattern. They want to see how your qualifications are connected to each other. That's the key, and use this technique. CV types, we'll quickly go through that. It's like the first one is chronological. And here you try to present your work experience in reverse. You start with your current job and then you go backward, okay? And then we go to the skill base or functional. The functional is when you highlight your skills. And it is a good format for people who are changing their career, their field, those who have gaps in their career, and those who have diverse work experience. Last but not least is hybrid. In the hybrid, you try to present both skills and also the work history. You first start with your skills and then followed up with the work history. One more slide before we take a short break. The skill-based or function has become more popular recently. In a report from LinkedIn, it was this analysis from 2023, they could see that it has become a popular format for companies to use a skill-based or a skill-first approach because they could see significant increase in the talent pool, 20 times more eligible candidate in talent pool. And they could see significant increase in proportion of women in talent pool, especially in the fields that women are underrepresented, like bioinformatics or data science. And last but not least, 8.5 to 10.3 times more for different generations. And skill-based has become more popular. I'm not saying that forget all other formats, just go with the skill-based, no. Depending on which position you want to apply, you can prioritize using a skill-based. For academia, the chronological or the classical CVs is still more popular. Before we take a short break, any questions? No? Is it time to have a break? Yeah, okay. So I quickly go through the key elements and then we will discuss about the skills which I would like to have your full attention, okay? The key elements, the first one is very obvious, personal information, name and degree. Sometimes in the job description says which type of degree they require. If it is like a master degree, your name, comma, master degree or PhD. And contact information, use the professional email, and if you're sharing your phone, please make sure not to have comic voice messengers. It might be a job offer calling you. So okay, now I'm chilling at the beach, and leave your number in case you're lucky I called you. You know, it's a bit like no answer from the hiring manager. Not full address. The recruiter might need to know whether you need to commute or not, or for visa-related or work permit-related questions. And use professional platforms like LinkedIn, GitHub, especially for the IT people, bioinformatician, and data scientists. Google Scholar for scientific or academic position. And Twitter is not like the portfolio. It's just show that you are you're networking. You're involved in the daily advancement in your field. And it's a list of ayabaya or no. And here I just focus on photo. So 88% of recruiters say that photo is not important. And again, remember, you have 7 seconds. Don't distill time from yourself and the recruiter. Highlight the most important points. Some may have mixed feelings about photo. It's also more popular in Europe compared to US, but that's the reality. And with age, whether you like it or not, if you don't say your age, your work history education tells how old you are. So don't be very sensitive into telling your age or not. And relevant work history. Again, reverse chronological order, company year, few key achievements or responsibilities, job title, and if it was as an internship, in the parentheses put internship. Sometimes job title does not directly tell the recruiter that which type of responsibility you have. For example, as an associate manager, you may also have been doing manager role. List them very briefly, because then you may be able to get a manager role as well. Year and month, when you began and when you present, or at the moment you're present. For job hoppers and gaps in the work history is also a key element that you need to pay attention. Job hoppers are those that they switch careers more often. try to explain it, to have a reason. For example, it could be family issue, it could be education, or like you have been a contractor, you have received many different contracts. And please don't include the whole work history, just the relevant one. I will come to the point that I will talk about MasterCV, which we'll discuss about this a bit further. Important part of your CV is the skills. Relevant skills in priority orders with evidence. Use bullet points. If you have a lot of skills, group them and use subheadings. You save space in your CV. And avoid categorizing your skill as hard, soft, somewhere in between, or transferable skill, and don't include all these skills. Highlight the most important one relevant to the work, and not generic skills like I'm working with Microsoft or I'm a hard-working person or team player. I will talk about that later. Education training, list recent education first and include dates, maybe grades. Remember, the grades does not necessarily tell you how practically you can use this information that you have learned. So it's a mix. Again, it's like a borderline. Some say I would like to see your GPA, or some say it's not really important. And prioritize relevant qualifications and training. Remember, certificates may not be all the time necessary unless you are applying for regulated workers like healthcare system or security jobs. You must have the certificate. Sometimes regional or local certificates are important to present. And please do not list webinars, seminars, short workshops. It's not gonna tell anything. It's also, and I think in portfolio I will also say that. You have seen these posts. I'm thrilled that I participated in this workshop, and here is my certificate. Bye. It doesn't tell anything. That's what you have learned. If you want to highlight your certificate, not only show your certificate, but also what you have learned. Link it, for example, to some publications. Say, okay, after learning this technique, I applied it in this work, in this project, etc. And then when you are doing that, you can even do networking. Because the main credit of the workshop goes to the person who has presented it. You can tag him. He or she might be your future hiring manager. So use that as an opportunity to showcase your qualifications. And skip non-relevant trainings and limit general educational skills. Like I had there was a CV which I could see, like there was the full description of the program and all the courses. Was in the curriculum of that degree program. It's not help you at all. Personal statement is really important. It's your hook. It's like the pitch when you're selling the pen, right? So use it. Showcase your qualification relevant to the work, and use the job description. Borrow the words, special terms that you see in the job description, and use power words. I will post on the blog. So if you want to, I will give more detailed list of the power words. That if you sign up for the newsletter, you will get the list. But one example is, for example, if you want to showcase you have been involved in creating, like I innovated, I developed, I established. These are the words that you can use. Or I led, for example, I planned, I led this project. Use those words in the personal statement. Not only there, but also in the projects when you're describing. Again, sell yourself. Show that why you are ideal candidates. And put juicier stuff on top. Please minimize I, using I did that, I'm good at this, I know it's not going to help you. Showcase and be professional. And avoid casual languages. There was a motivation letter that word excellent, I am excellent, was used 3 times in 2 sentences. So it doesn't really show that candidate has real practical cases to show. And avoid long sentences or paragraphs. Final tips before we talk about the skills. Check for typos. Give it to another person or pass it to ChatGPT or any AI system to proofread it for you. Be assertive. Don't sound vague. Probably, sometimes. No, don't use these words. Be assertive and stay positive. Don't be shy and do not apologize.
You're talking about the interviews or in the CV?
some of these points can be applicable to a motivation letter and also interview. So some of these have overlap. It's really difficult to draw a line. As I showed you in one of the slides, everything is linked. So some of the information that I'm sharing with you as in form of CV, you can use that in the motivation letter or even interview. Remember, CV should be readable, a proper font size and proper font style. Don't squeeze or push the margins to the edges to put as much as text you want. It's good to show that you have great qualifications, diverse qualifications, but you can do it by other approaches. Highlight your main qualifications, and in portfolio, in your personal web page, in your GitHub, you can list the detailed qualification that you have. Make sure to send or share a stable CV in a PDF format. Export your CV if you have a Word document with clickable links to send it to your hiring manager. And these 2 points are specific for ATS when a computer is reading it. They cannot read column base. They read line by line. So sometimes you may be able to reach the hiring manager or recruiter and ask which system they have. And then you can adjust it accordingly. And again, avoid infographics. ATS cannot interpret them properly. Any questions so far before we talk about skills?
In one of the slides, excuse me, you said that it's not a good idea to have a picture for your CV. Why is that?
My argument is that CV does not give, it might be mixed. For certain jobs, it might be gender specific, so that picture may already help. But my argument is that you have limited time. If you think of 7 seconds time that you have, is it important to show 3 or 4, for example, data analysis skill that you have, or a photo? Which one is more practically useful? So don't steal time from yourself and the reader. That's my argument.
There's some question in the chat.
Yes, what's that? I cannot see that. Good. The question is how to minimize use of I. It's a good question actually, and it's not easy one to answer or to implement. But instead of using that, I did that or I did this, you can say a bioinformatician, for example, with experience in this and that and that. So you try to package given skills in one sentence. That's one example.
There's another question. Should we also write our soft skills?
Soft skills, I will talk about that actually in few slides. So it will answer your questions. So skills. In the job ads, you will see required skills, for example. These are like non-negotiable skills. You must have them. If you have all or most of them, go for it, apply. If not, move on or try to gain those skills. For example, for a given job title, do a search and write those skills that you do not have. And check how often these skills pop up in different positions, the same job title or close to that. If you see, for example, 5 out of 10 require that skill and you do not have it, invest time to gain that skill. It says that the market at the moment requires that type of skills. Preferred skills are those skills that give you an edge. So it increases your chances. So give or take, I'm just saying a number. If you have 50% of these preferred skills together with required skills, go for it and apply for the job. And desired skills, nice to have. It doesn't mean not having it will be critical. No. The combination of all of these 3 will increase your chance of getting the job. When we talk about the skills, one of the classical way of gaining those skills are through university degree. The standard, high quality university degrees. Sometimes in the job advertisement, you see they require master or PhD in da or related field. Okay? Now, a question for you. I have been contacted with students, for example, who have a background in the biology or molecular biology, and they want to find a job in bioinformatics they are willing to do another master or another PhD. It's a commitment on investment of 2 to 5 years. While as an alternative can be the case that personalized curriculum or personalized education can be an alternative with saving time. Again, I am emphasizing if you see your degree in related field, but if you are switching the career, switching the field, it's like a must. You have to go and get a standard high quality education. So the question is, what will be your first choice? As long as you see your degree is in related field. If you want me to give an example, for example, it's about data analysis with program A. You have done you have some experiences in program A to analyze the data, but there are a lot of gaps. Do you think you have to go to do another PhD to fill in that gap, or it's better to get a personalized curriculum in order to fill in those gaps? Okay, almost everyone goes with personalized curriculum. I think we can probably move on. It doesn't work. Okay. Now that you see the skills or competence, I would like to introduce you to competence confidence landscape. It's in a way inspired by the book by Adam Grant, Think Again. Have you read this book? It's a must. You read it. It's really good, but I highly recommend it. So in this space, we have competence versus confidence, and here we try to find a connection or relationship between the competence level and confidence level. Sometimes our competence is more than our confidence, and we will be in space of imposter syndrome. Or we are overconfident about the qualifications that we have. It will be armchair quarterback syndrome. Throughout our life, at work, education, we all the time navigate in this space. All the time. And the ideal scenario is that to end up in the space in the middle, confidence, humility zone. And if you are in bioinformatics or data science field, I can help you to find your way in order to reach confidence, humility zone. Let me give you an example. For a group of students or applicants, there will be first an assessment, and the group we identify people who could be in armchair quarterback syndrome or imposter syndrome. By personalized curricula, they will go through a progress tracking, dynamic adjustment, and reassessment. And this loop will be repeated until the applicants will find their way to confidence, humility zone. Considering what you have experienced so far, not in this workshop, I mean related to your work experience or when you're applying. The reason that I'm saying that is that in the application, when you registered, I could see quite diverse number. There were people who managed to find their first job after 2 applications. Some still are looking for a job with more than 100 applications. So having this picture in mind, what would you answer to the next question? Where do you see yourself? Now you see a competition between confident humility and imposter syndrome. Go, 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 confident humility. So actually it's a good picture, good number, especially with confident humility. We will move on. 3, 2, 1. Last chance. Okay. Now when we talk about qualifications, you should also be able to quantify them when you're presenting it or when you are talking about this. Sometimes, I have even done that myself years ago, that I try to show my qualification as a bar, infographics. It's quite relative. So if I'm good at program A, but not much experience in given data type analysis, I will score it according to the knowledge base that I have, right? And it may differ from this candidate to another candidate. The first person with 2 years experience put the first programming skill as like 100% experience. What about the person who has 10 years experience? You will see the same bar, but it's not that quantitative, right? You cannot make a difference between them. So I would like to introduce you to Bloom's taxonomy. This is used for designing the courses. Now I propose to repurpose using of the Bloom's taxonomy. And the way that you do it is that, let me say about when we are designing the course. In the first layer, remember and understand, this layer we try to give like a introduction to a given topic, where students understand some topics, some concepts, and they can describe it. As you move on, you get to top of the pyramid, you will be expert in that field or in that technique. Because then you will be able to describe your experience differently with these action verbs that you see. I can develop, or I developed, I designed, I planned a study. These are the words that can show you how experienced you are. As long as you are in top 3 layers, you have critical thinking. You do not necessarily say, I have critical thinking. You will instead show it with action verbs or power words that I told you. And if you see yourself in the first 2 layers, you remember and understand, doesn't mean you should give up and not to think about this certain job title. No, it means that there are rooms for improvement and you can go through it. And you may see yourself in imposter syndrome or armchair quarterback syndrome. You can go towards the confident humility zone. Now, let's talk about elephant in the room, the soft skills. And I hope this will answer the question of the participant. Soft skills, being a good team player. I have leadership skills. I am a fast learner. I'm good at time management. Is it good enough just to say that? We have to quantify it. Present it with numbers. I worked in a group of these many lab engineers, for example. It shows that you have worked in a group and you have experience of team play. I have these many years experience in da-da-da. So not only you say how many years experience you have, but also specify in which field. Running these many number of projects over last 2 years, for example, shows multitasking and time management. This is more practical to say rather than just say, I'm aware of time management. I have time management skill. And be specific. For example, I led a group of these many bioinformaticians. It shows that you have worked with people. You have led the projects. Show evidence like training, certificates, and recognition. It shows you are a fast learner. You show that you are still trying to keep up with all the advances in the field. So all of this, what I have told you, can go into a MasterCV. It will be like a super you. You try to collect comprehensive information about yourself. You actively update all of your qualification and achievements. You will have a MasterCV, and if you have this gear and belt model in mind, you will try to choose each of them for given job title that you're applying. Because at the end of the day, you will be working in an organization. You have to interact with other people. You have to be part of a bigger system. So having this gear and belt model in mind, you have to pick those or apply those knowledge which are relevant to the job title. That's why I say do not include the whole work history, not include all the educations. There was I have seen CVs that they have even listing the high school degree. So it's not going to help you. These are like a general education that you have, basic education that you have. Be specific and try to pick the relevant one when you are trying to extract information. Now I would like to finish the skill part and talk about portfolio. Any questions about skills? Okay, so now portfolio. One of the platforms that you can use is LinkedIn. Again, similar to personal information, name and degree, And then you can also link it to other platform if you have, for example, GitHub, Google Scholar, personal web page, or YouTube. YouTube and personal web page can be useful for people who are aiming for teaching roles. I'm not saying everyone should do that. No, you will have more showcases. You have about section, and the about section can be your personal statement. Again, think about having the hook, because sometimes the recruiter may go directly to your LinkedIn, read your LinkedIn profile, and then contact you. Keep all the information that you have up to date. Sometimes you have the recommendation as well. Some people can write recommendations about the experience that they had to you. I'm not saying it's a must. And when you are using that, and some people write recommendations about you, make sure when you're exporting your CV from LinkedIn not to include recommendation. New findings were developed in your field through the post, and new certificates, again, as I said, you try to link it to actual practical use. Share posts about your projects and research. For example, when your work has been validated by others, you can say our findings on was validated by this person or that person in this journal or in this article, and tag the names. Those might be your future employers or future collaborators. GitHub is probably quite popular for people who are in IT, bioinformatics, data science, etc. And these where you can list more technical aspects of your work and also showcases. So for some of the students who do not have, who have not been able to participate in given projects which leads into publication, for example, you can replicate published data. Go download the data, try to replicate the results that you see in the paper, and you can write it as a post. People have done that. And here you can showcase your skills. And the activities are also important. I'm not saying it's a must, but some people use it in order to see how active you are. These colors that you see shows how much activity you had over time. Google Scholar is important for people who are looking for the scientific positions or academic positions. I'm not saying the citations are important or not important. Depending on the situation, it can be useful. But for CV, please do not include your citation over years with a bar chart. It doesn't tell anything. It's not going to help you. So, job seekers bias. I will start with survivorship bias. Example. Has anyone heard about survivorship bias? Okay, 2? Okay, good. So survivorship bias is a logical error that occurs when we are focusing only on survived examples. For example, Abraham Wald, a statistician during Second World War, was teamed up with a statistician from British Columbia University, I think. Their job was to identify, to reinforce the Air Forces. And they tried to use the data that they had from airplanes came back after the battle with damages on their body. And as you can see here, so here, there are certain parts of the body of the airplane that you have damage records. But for certain parts, you don't see that. So here is the bias. If you only focus on those parts that we have data, we miss very important pieces of information. Because those airplanes who did not make home were damaged on those parts that we do not have any data. So here is a bias. Instead of focusing on the damaged part, they try to reinforce the parts that they had in other parts of the airplanes, and they could increase the survivorship. So what I'm trying to say is that in this procedure, if we focus on only success story, we may end up in a false decision. And in the parentheses, the scientific community is more or less to some extent like that. We are able to publish more successful stories. But it's important to have an eye on both cases. And when we are looking for jobs, we may end up in a situation that we try to go to LinkedIn page of some people who are actively working or are employed in given position, and we go and check their certificates, and we may go and find some courses in order to get those certificates. The person who is employed in that position, although have those certificates, but he or she may not be even using those skills, those certificates in that job. So instead of that, to overcome this, first, if it's possible, try to find the job description of the position that this person has been employed. Or try to have informal interviews. There have been many students or fresh graduated students who contacted me. We set up a meeting and we talked, and I shared my experiences. And they could sort of find a different path. And internship and freelancing also help you. Skill assessment and learning is the key. And I talked about replicating the data, and mentorship is also useful. And here again, I'm telling you this scenario, that's how I can help you to position you in this space and trying to help you to find your path to confidence humility zone. This scenario is real. After applying 200 applications in 5 weeks, it means 40 applications a week. What's the problem? Any guess? You have the microphone. Shout. What's the problem here?
Maybe not specific positions.
Specific positions, yeah? What else?
Maybe haven't gone through all the requirements and just applying.
Applying your clothes, applying, probably with the same CV all the time, right? So it is called shotgun applying. So you just apply. You send it. It's increasing the number. It's a matter of numbers, right? By increasing the number of applications, you may end up in getting an interview, right, and get a job. That's one way of doing that. But at the end, you may end up in a situation that you go to an interview and you don't know which CV they are talking about. So which position is this? And it's not uncommon. It has happened, and it will happen if one does not control the situation. And one solution is to customize your CV for the job, for the given positions. Keep track of the application, document and track correspondence, and set reminders to follow up. And here I would like to show you an example. So here is an example that you have the application date, you have the company, the position, the main requirements, contact details, web address, last application date, and some information on follow-up. It's a real example. Either this or use a platform which is called Teal, which is helpful for track and organizing your job search. It has AI solution. It can help you to write your CV and motivation letter. By the way, I don't get any commission from this company. It's just an example I'm sharing. Jobseekers bias, the third one is panic applying. You see a job of interest and then you go and you see, okay, 100 people have applied. I have to apply quickly. You just send a CV. And you, which CV did I send? So try to plan. So if you see these many applicants, doesn't necessarily mean that all of them will be qualified. You have to tailor your CV, your cover letter, and keep track of your application, as I said in the previous slide. Now, we do another assignment, using AI or not to using. Use or not to use AI. So in this assignment, please scan this QR code. You will get access to list of the positions. Hopefully they are still open and you can read the job descriptions. And after you chose them, identify 7 key elements skills and give the same task to ChatGPT or any other platform of choice. And then answer this question: how much overlap was between your choices as well as the AI solution output? What do you think about the assignment? Let me show you Does anyone have the QR code? Do you have access to the positions? And you will do this in group of 4. Okay? Yeah. Or 3. Or 5. So, what was your experiences when you did this exercise? How much overlap did you find? All of them?
5.
5 out of 7. Okay. One group 5, another one
60%.
60%. Okay. Okay. Good. 50-50. Okay. Good. So it's a good number actually, and I guess the point that I'm gonna make next, you will see that in the example. Before showing the example, just few points. AI solutions can help you to tailor your CV in relation to the job description. It can do content review. You can pass your the text of not the format, the text of your CV or motivation letter into AI solution and ask for correction. ATS optimization, it can also do that. And you can also ask these AI solutions to give you a mock interview questions, which will be helpful. And the top required skills in the field is also one thing that you can ask. So it's getting up to date all the time. But there is a but. Avoid over-reliance on these solutions and be aware of a training limitation. So sometimes there might be solutions that you pass your CV to a solution, AI solution 1, and then there is a promise that you will land your job. But what if the recruiter is using another AI solution, which is not trained on the data of the first solution? So there might be a mismatch between these resources. So try to use it with cautious. Here is a real example: over-reliance on the AI solution. So this is the output I got for a given job in bioinformatics field, and it lists that I have 1 skills out of 10 skills listed for this job. The first one is bioinformatics, and I wonder what are those 9 skills which I don't have. And I said, okay, let's look in more details. The first one is bioinformatics, yes. Algorithm development, it's fair. I have not been doing much algorithm development. Clear vision, I use glasses, so I have clear vision. Critical thinking, based on the experience that I have, the Bloom's taxonomy that I showed you, I think I have critical thinking. I can develop, I can design, I can predict. Executive visibility, I don't know what it is. Management style, soft skills, So these are not really the skills that should be super important when I'm going to apply for a job, right? So the take-home message is that do not over-rely on what AI solution give you. Always evaluate. And remember, job titles are not equal to a skill set. Pay attention to the detail of the job description. Okay? What I did not talk about: work permits, internal references, languages, cover letters, interview. These are what I have not talked. And each of these elements require a detailed discussion. And it can be different from this country to another country, sometimes from this in US, from this state to another state. So with this, I would like now to summarize. I talked about CV types, techniques that you can improve your CV or representing yourself. We talked about job seekers biases, use of AI, and portfolio. Now, I also talked about skills, how to quantify and present. One way that I can help is through personalized curricula, which I showed you, especially in bioinformatics and data science field. The outcome of this will be a professional portfolio based on projects that I can help you to do. And at the end, the outcome all of this will be a well-crafted CV representing you, which increases your chances of getting an interview, not a job. If you want to be among the first users of this program or this attempt, scan this QR code. This is for feedbacks. While you are leaving your feedbacks about the workshop as a general points, which I very appreciate if you do that, leave comments. It will be helpful for the future activities and the next version of the workshop. And there you can also show your interest, express your interest, whether you want to be involved in, be among the first users of this program. With this, I would like to finish this part, and I would like to thank Uppsala University Innovation Center, Frida and Matthias, who helped me to drive this project, and Alvaro Martinez, who role as my used to be my co-supervisor and my mentor, and Mehrad Vision, who is in the room, has been helping with all of these video, audio part of the work. Puya, my friend, who has been helping behind the scene in the Zoom, and Neda and Saba for helping to organize this workshop. And the delicious fikas are by Neda, by the way. So now it's your chance to choose. Do you want to talk about what-if situations, or we review a few CVs? Which one? CV review number 2. Number 2, 1. Shall we go? Number 2, 2. No, 2. 2.
In the chat, they all also vote for 2.
2. Okay. First of all, there were some of them were really nice CVs. Not all of you shared. And one thing which it will be worthwhile to say about the CVs that I reviewed, some of you showed your technical skills in terms of data analysis or programming by listing the projects, but there were not many actually who had linked to GitHub portfolio. That's what you have to have if you're applying for this type of jobs, data science or bioinformatics related positions. So personal information, name, family, it says with the degree, with photo. There was no link to a staff page or portfolio. That's the first comment. Then here you have the, first of all, I should say that this is a good CV. It has great potential, and I like it too for some major aspects. And there were a few small points that I highlight which can improve the CV. So here you have the coursework cleared with this GPA, comprehensive examination cleared, and research work in progress. So these are not really relevant information with regard to the job. You can skip that. And here is the title of the program, the description of the program. Again, here is not necessary. This information may not be relevant for the job application. You can say the title and then represent what you have done in form of projects. And the projects has been listed here. The secondary project, like another term paper, supervisor, assistant professor. So sometimes it will be worthwhile to mention it. And there are certain, I had to Google this, I had not seen this FSC, again I forgot the abbreviation, but if there are certain local degrees that can be specific to your region or to your country, try to find the equivalent in the country of target that you are going to apply. And here is probably, I would skip this one, secondary school certificate. And here are certain points which was a bit confusing. So this is the teaching experience. It's good to show teaching experience, but such details may not be necessary. If it is bioinformatics related, just say teaching bioinformatics, this course and that course. That's enough. You do not need to give details. The dates are good. The research experience is also good here. Again, you are describing, this applicant is describing everything. So just keep to the main major points. You do not need to describe everything. Some of these that you have highlighted here, you can go to skills part, like DNA extraction and certain equipments that you have used. And there you can list it as like a wet lab experience or dry lab experience. Research assistant, it's also good. So here again you are listing everything as part of your project or teaching experience. So these again can go to your wet lab experience, for example. So this is a good one. I am part of an advisory board member. So it shows that you are taking major roles. You can highlight it in your, it's relevant to the leadership experience that you have. So another one is the what this applicant did in order to organize this course. So this course came up here, Python for life scientists on this date, and here is Python for young biologists, the same date. So Please be consistent, and you don't make mistakes. So this is inconsistent information that this applicant has shared. And my respected teacher, this person, it's good that you want to give credit to your mentor, but it's not really going to help you if you're applying for a given job. This person could be your reference. I forgot to say the reference, maybe I told it. You do not need to list the person, your references. Just say references will be available upon request. You save space in your CV. Achievement is good. It's also here, listed few of them. So here it says a future fellowship and the name of the instructor. So I'm a bit confused here. Is it a fellowship, and then why does it have instructor names? So this is a bit confusing information. And here it's good. It's really impressive that this applicant has won the Best Pitch Award, but there is nothing about what this applicant has pitched about. So I don't know what you pitched about. I would like to see that as well. The publication, there was also one of the questions. So you do not need all the time to list all of your publications. For example, in a job ad says at least 3 first authorship paper. You have your Google Scholar link in the personal information, and then only those 3 publications that you have as a co-first author. That's it. You can leave the rest out. And so here is also a bit confusing. So here it was a specific 4-day workshop, and it was listed as a fellowship above. And here, for example, computational skills, R programming, data analysis with R. Yes, that's true. R programming is used for data analysis, but be specific. For example, I work with object-oriented programming. I work with S4 or S3 objects. SPSS, again, you're describing what these tools are. So you can categorize it, say, okay, statistical solution, statistical tools, and the rest, or programming tools. And note, it's not really a software, it needs technical skills. It is only for reference recording, that's it. It was also popped up in another CV. So you can exclude this one. Full thesis, again, if you are talking about certain degrees, if they are local, so I'm talking about FSC in the beginning. So try to find the equivalent one. Any question about this CV? No? Okay. Let's go to another one. So this is one of the short versions. The previous one was more like academic CV. Here is like 1 to 2 pages. It's also a good one. This is one of the examples that this person is changing career. So there are gaps in the work history as well. For example, I show the work history. So here is the education from 2008 to 2013, and then 2021 to present as a work experience. There is a big gap. If I read this, I would think that this person is hiding something. But this person has not hidden something. He has changed the career. Some of the skills that you have in your previous career, previous work experience, can be transferable skills. Use them. It's your asset. And here there are certain good points. So it has a personal statement the previous CV didn't have. And then you say, I have excellent communication skills, user-friendly app and client. It is true. This applicant has showcased them. So here you can see there are apps that have been highlighted, which tools this person has used in order to develop that app. Some of them are games, for example. It shows that these can be popular tools to use, but I'm not sure whether they are user-friendly or not. So sometimes you can quantify that by going to your GitHub, for example, see how many people are following it, how many people have forked your project, how many people have started your package. So these are what you can quantify and present it. And creative thinking is also presented here in terms of form of apps that this person has developed. Skills are here, it's very good. The courses are here, very good, but it's not aligned. 2 pages, there is not consistent. It doesn't have a consistent pattern. And I would say hobbies, if they are general, you can skip it. Reading books, for example. Yeah, that's good. It will be good for networking when I go into your future job. Any questions about this? Okay, last but not least. This one is a good CV. I think it has almost all the professional characteristics. We have the name, the personal information, link to the portfolios, LinkedIn, GitHub. You have the education listed here, research experience. Here you see the action verbs, trained, compared, right? Supervised, leader. Here you are showing that you have quantified. The person who has this CV shows that he or she has quantified it. Here you can see the projects and which tools have been used, similar to the previous CV. You have showcased that. So it was again a question which was on the Zoom as well, listing the skills, TensorFlow, this package, that package, but how you have used it. So here is one example that shows the use of these solutions. I developed. You are in top of the pyramid. This is a good CV. Honors and awards, top skills. Again, here you are showing if it is related to data, if it is related to web development, the languages and volunteer activities. Something which maybe would be worthwhile to mention here is that the volunteer activity shows that you are ready to accept new responsibilities. You are ready to challenge yourself. And part-time jobs in restaurant and other things, you should not be ashamed of that. You should present it. It shows that you are able to do time management as part-time job, doing your studies and working, and ready to interact with other people to do teamwork. But this one is missing something. What's that? Yes, exactly. You do not have the hook. I have to read the whole thing and then say, okay, maybe it can be relevant to this position or that position. I know this is like for the exercise, but you can customize it to the position that you're applying. Any questions? No? So these were the three that I thought could be representative of all the CVs that I had read. So yeah, I think most of them, and I highlighted that some of them that had technical skills, programming skills, bioinformatics related skills, they did not use any link to portfolios. One more question that one of the participants asked during the assignment was about career change, which I told you. In the career change, when you are trying to tailor your CV, if you want to go from academia to industry, you need to switch the mindset a bit. Go look at the job description and reformat it. Go with the skill-based. Your skills first, personal statement, skills first, and then work history. And education, you can be selective. Try to say the latest, recent skill, education, sorry. And that should be enough. And in terms of the publication, just the highlights of your publication and link to the Google Scholar. That's it. Any questions? Anyone online? Any questions? Okay. Okay, so by this I think it comes to an end. I hope you found it useful, and please, I really appreciate if you can go to the feedback form here. I share it again. And give me feedbacks. Your comments will be very valuable and important to me. And if you want to be among the first users, make sure to express it in the feedback form. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Hopefully this video will be soon uploaded on YouTube, and feel free to share it with friends and colleagues, and there will be some follow-up videos as well, so make sure to subscribe. and then you will hopefully receive notes about or notification about the future activities. And follow the page. We'll send you the links to the LinkedIn page of this activity, and also I will make sure to, if you have any comments, any suggestion, make sure to leave those comments in the feedback form and also on the YouTube. That's it.